Hello again, year four. Hopefully you all enjoyed the snow yesterday. That's where I've just come back from being in between recording your lessons. So, as I mentioned in morning fluency, today we are going to redo the lesson that I filmed, but it didn't upload properly to YouTube. So I know some of you may have had a go at this starter before, so maybe you could choose a few more adjectives to upscale or a new expanded noun phrase. Today we're going to be focused on planning our hot task. So that's your independent defeat the monster tale. So if you haven't done already, you can pause the video now to do your starter activity. So I'm going to skip past that. We've been using these since the start of year four, and you also use these with Miss South. So these should be familiar to you now. I will save this as a scaffold in Teams. Obviously, I can't save it on YouTube, unfortunately. So make sure if you're watching on YouTube, you try and convert over to Teams, get used to that setup. So who are your main characters? Maybe put an adjective or two in for each. Where is it set? Again, maybe an adjective or two for your setting, because that will lend itself well to your beginning and your build up when you do a setting description, and what happens at the beginning. So you're going to be setting the scene. And then the build up is your main character going to be going somewhere. You can maybe give it a bit of an insight into the monster, but not too much. Save it for the problem. And then obviously the problem is where the monster arrives at this setting, this location that you said at the beginning of your story. So what sort of verbs could you plan to use there for your monster destroying things or taking people away? Resolution is all going to be about your hero. You might also want to plan in a little bit of dialogue for that. And then how will your story end? Will you leave it on a cliffhanger like we did last week? I've put 15 to 20 minutes. It may take you a little bit longer if you really take your time and try and boost your vocabulary. It's an independent task, remember, so I can't give you a lot more than that. Through the week, I will show you the model text at the start of each lesson, just to give you a bit of a heads up. This is a challenge X if you've got time. And instead of writing, I thought it'd be fun for you to draw the description that I've created instead of you create a description from a drawing. So, excuse me, can you use this as inspiration to draw the monster being described? A large mass of some thick, heavy, translucent slime fell onto my shoulders and drenched me. Above me, on the ceiling, rested a menacing, slavering creature. It stood to its hind legs, its long, bony limbs grabbing onto the wall to balance itself. The long and slender forelimbs poked out from the rest of its body, which sat on stout back legs. Its stubby arms on its stomach lashed out, seeking blood as they were already covered in it. It dropped from the ceiling and opened its jaws extremely wide, unfolding its spherical head almost like an onion, letting out a horrifying, slavering snarl and revealing rows upon rows of razor teeth. I could only think of one thing to do. Run! Dimitri, run! I yelled, sprinting away. Dimitri was close behind. The creature crawled after us in long strides, keeping our same pace. It clambered towards us on its knuckles, which were covered in tiny hairs similar to a spider's. Beneath the hairs were small, thick spikes, which it stabbed into surfaces to scale the tunnel walls in a spiral formation as it pursued us. I would not be able to keep up this pace for long. So there's some powerful verbs in there. It tells you how the creature moves. It tells you a lot about how it looks. And then you can fill in the missing gaps. I'm really interested to see what you draw based on that description. Don't forget to picture it in some sort of cave with things, maybe slime or blood dropping down. Be creative with it and enjoy your extension drawing task.